This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Hi, I'm Pastor Emmy Swedland with Faith Lutheran Church in Morris, Minnesota. I share a devotion with you this week from Great is Thy Faithfulness by Robert J. Morgan. Joel chapter 2 verse 23 says, "Be glad, people of Zion, rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the autumn rains because he is faithful. He sends you abundant showers." The author writes, "If you're like me, you fret over having enough time, enough money, enough strength, enough intelligence. But God is totally unbothered by any insufficiency. God is infinitely supplied, and we cannot thank God enough for that." English missionary Helen Roseveare wrote, "There is a wonderful truth that God has enough to supply all our needs. Enough for salvation, enough for forgiveness, enough to overcome temptation, enough to persevere in adversities, enough to calm our fears and anxieties, enough grace, enough love, enough power. God's supply is sufficient to meet not only all our needs, but the needs of everyone in the world, now and at all times." The prophet Joel wrote his small book of Old Testament prophecy during an economic crisis, when waves of locusts had struck ancient Israel, devastating the harvest. Joel told the people to rend their hearts and return to the Lord. "Who knows," he said, "he may turn and relent and leave behind a blessing." And so the Lord did. He restored what the locusts had eaten. We have locust invasions of sorts in our own lives, when our funds are low, our spirits devastated, and we gaze around us in despair at our setting. But God is faithful. God has enough. God is enough. God will restore what the locusts have eaten and pour out his Spirit on his people. The people of Zion rejoiced in the Lord, for he gave them the rains and abundant showers needed for the next harvest. If you read Joel's book closely, you'll notice that he wasn't just writing about the locust invasion of his own day. He was looking into the distant future and writing about the world in the last. I believe we're living in the time when we can trust more fully in God's love. When Christ is everything to us, God is enough for us. May you know of God's enoughness for you and know that God's love is sufficient. Grace and peace to you from myself, Pastor Emmy, and the people of Faith Lutheran Church in Morris.